Good one. Last Sunset Palisades, this is called. It's from the vault, again, co-written with two people at two different times. The first was Ben Romans, who you might remember from the song The Real Good Life. This was done with him and a whole group of my musician friends back in the day when we were living in the Santa Cruz Mountains. So around the same time as Real Good Life, we got in a room, we set up the mics, and we banged out this demo. The melody has been knocking around in my head for like 9 years. So I brought this to Neara Russell, who is an amazing producer, and she has been just playing keyboards like in the Song Lab quarantine band up until now. So I was really happy that I got to bring her like a production project. As you will hear, once this starts filling up, it's a sparse programming track, but once you get bass in there, it really gets filled up fast. So let's do Neara's keyboards here. So here's a Juno pad, a Rhodes, and then the main piano. Such a cool part. Playing my acoustic guitar. Just kind of a strum along thing on the hummingbird. Here's the car guitars. The car guitar. So you might remember the car last week, the amp in the car. That's this track. All of the guitars are from the car. How appropriate for a driving song. I call this track Guitar Pasta because the guitar is noodling, and that is another Neara-ism. That's what happens when you work with new people, you get new isms. So I thought those car guitars actually sounded really good. Here's the lead part. We kind of took this idea that the dream of California is like George Carlin's kind of dream where it's you have to be asleep to believe it. There's this especially now there's this duality of protest and violence, but then also people sleeping on the beach and not caring. So the song sort of loosely follows a character who I feel like is a character inside all of us who has made the decision to finally take his or her head out of the sand, and we decided that Pacific Palisades was kind of a good metaphor.
I feel it inside of me, I woke alive and tired from the dream of California to the earthquakes and the fires. Oh, I'm okay. Tonight I drive.
To drive away and drive into the fight. And so Last Sunset Palisades is that final goodbye to comfort. One thing that we really worked together on was getting a kind of like flowing vocal performance out of me, which was a really good exercise because I am not a very flowy kind of vocalist. So I was really working on sort of like drawing these lines out, and I was purposefully sort of singing it very laid back and behind the beat, and you can kind of hear that. Let me just do my voice and the piano on the opening line.
Shadows cross the boulevards, and with one light remains, racing through the canyon as I leave the palace.
I'm really letting the piano do the driving work on that because I want to have this like counter balance of this like very up front on top of the beat instrument with a behind the beat vocal, and I think it worked out really well. Let's check out the chorus. Here's Neara's backing vocals. In my harmonies.
Road with the golden lines, walls of my state of mind. Ooh.
With the lead.
Down the road with the golden lines, beyond the walls of my state of mind. I'll arrive the same or changed, either way. Last sunset Palisades.
So it occurred to me that I now have driving songs on both coasts, which I feel like is important. The first is Changing States, where I'm driving on I-95 from Rhode Island to Florida. And this one, where I'm driving on the PCH south from Pacific Palisades to Los Angeles.